In the rain, a man forces a boy down, demanding he repay his dead parents' debt. The boy argues they died working for them and refuses to repay anything. Guards force him into an awakening test, saying there's still hope if he succeeds. Beaten and bleeding, he shouts if it's so rare, why don't they try it themselves? The boy is dropped into a dark pit, thinking it's unfair he's the one sent to die while others fear death. He hits the ground, injured but still alive, struggling to move forward. A terrifying monster appears before him, echoing his earlier defiant words back at him. As he wonders why he must endure this, the creature violently strikes, sending him flying. The boy is lifted by the monster, questioning if being weak means he deserves to die. With blood streaming, his eye glows as something starts binding to him. An unknown system activates. His body surges with dark energy. The shadow system fully awakens as the monster looms overhead. In another scene, he introduces himself as Lai Yi, a miner who risks his life daily harvesting energy in another dimension. One man praises the boy's monthly work, saying he might clear his parents' debt within a year. Another mocks that after 3 to 5 more years, he might afford a tiny apartment. The boy forces a polite reply. Privately, he clenches his fist in anger. If working years is the only way, they should do it themselves. The interdimensional zone offers a rare chance to awaken, but exposure is deadly. Workers ride in silence, reflecting that no one chooses to wear hazmat suits unless life forces them to. They discuss a boy whose parents died in an accident and was blamed for $1 million loss. Not only was he denied compensation, but he was also pushed into debt to repay the supposed damage. Some think he's just weak, while others argue blood won't solve anything. Money is all that matters now. He hears others calling him weak, but his calm eyes show defiance behind the mask. He believes people aren't weak by nature, but because this twisted world makes them that way. The team prepares to enter the cave as their supervisor announces the start of work. Suddenly, the ground shakes. Panic sets in as a cave-in erupts right at the entrance. One worker mocks the panic, calling the tremor minor. Others doubt it, saying quakes don't happen in other dimensions. Someone suggests monsters might be behind it, while another warns this zone once had deadly humanoids. The group starts panicking, arguing they shouldn't continue the job because it's too dangerous. A supervisor shuts them up, insisting the area was cleared years ago by an awakened. No threats should exist here. Just as the supervisor threatens the workers, a sharp blade pierces through his chest. Everyone freezes in shock, eyes wide as they process what just happened. One of them stammers, realizing the supervisor has been instantly taken out. The boy looks up in terror, recognizing that something terrifying has just begun. One of the workers, bleeding and terrified, realizes what's attacking them. A powerful interdimensional humanoid bursts in, throwing the team into chaos. Screams fill the air as the monsters strike, forcing everyone to run for their lives. The boy panics, realizing they're over 10 kilometers from the exit with death chasing close behind. The boy's eyes widen with fear as he questions if escaping is even possible. Monsters chase the group relentlessly, and one of the men admits it's beyond what they can handle. Suddenly, 2 workers are struck violently, sent flying through the air. They crash hard into the ground, the impact echoing as the situation turns even more hopeless. The boy struggles to his feet, coughing and injured, trying to catch up. Others rush toward the truck, yelling to start it quickly as he pleads to be taken along. But the truck speeds off, leaving him behind as he reaches out in desperation. Inside the truck, just as the drivers think they've escaped, a massive monster ambushes them from above. A monstrous creature lands on the truck, terrifying the passengers inside. Another worker screams for help as he's snatched mid-air by an incoming humanoid. The monsters charge straight toward the escaping truck, ignoring everything else. Suddenly, a massive explosion erupts, engulfing everything in a fiery blast. One of the workers watches in shock as the monsters are suddenly engulfed in flames. The interdimensional creatures scream in agony, burning wildly in the fire. Someone realizes fire might be their weakness. The boy stares at the flames, thinking it's worth testing this theory further. Another humanoid charges in from the side, catching one of the workers off guard. The boy narrowly dodges the attack and rushes toward a nearby flame. With urgency, he reaches out and grabs the burning source. sliding into position. He grips the fire firmly, ready to strike back. He's got it. The boy charges forward with fire in hand, forcing the monster to back away. He confirms his suspicion. The creatures hesitate and fear the flames. Shouting with confidence, he warns one of them to stay back. He then turns to the others, declaring loudly that the monsters are afraid of fire. 10 years ago, mysterious gates opened worldwide, releasing monsters and humanoids from other dimensions. Only awakened beings mutated through radiation had the strength to fight back and close the gates. Their arrival not only protected humanity, but also launched an age of interdimensional exploration. But most aren't awakened. Ordinary people like them must risk everything just to survive. The group scrambles to collect anything flammable, knowing they're too weak to run from the monsters. One man worries his torch won't last much longer as the fire begins to dim. Someone remembers the storage room has gasoline. They might use it to block the entrance and buy time. They form a defensive circle, holding torches back to back, retreating slowly together. The group stands in formation at the cave entrance, facing the advancing monsters with barrels nearby. One of them shouts to pour gasoline at the entrance quickly to prepare a trap. A barrel is kicked over, spilling fuel across the ground as they ready their torches. With flames in hand, they brace themselves, watching the enemy step closer into the spreading gasoline. With the signal given, the group hurls their flaming torches toward the fuel-covered ground. The fire catches instantly, flames racing toward the monsters as they step forward. A massive blaze erupts, forcing the creatures to scream and back off in pain. One man turns to the boy and thanks him Yi for saving them all. The group rests after surviving the attack, grateful to the boy and promising to support him if needed. He notices something unusual nearby and turns his attention toward it. A massive, mysterious statue stands deep inside the mine, catching everyone's eye. They explain it was discovered long ago, likely hidden by a corrupt supervisor to sell on the black market. As they examine the ancient statue, a call is made to Sector 7 requesting confirmation. They report the humanoid attack and urgently ask for rescue support. The response finally comes. Rescue will arrive in 2 hours, and they must stay safe until then. One worker panics, shouting into the radio, begging them to hurry, but gets no reply. The radio goes silent with static, and the group realizes they're on their own. They panic. Suit energy won't last more than an hour and a half, and some have families waiting at home. One suggests making a run for it, thinking it's better to risk dying than just waiting. The boy silently checks his suit power is critically low. He hopes rescue arrives before it's too late. The boy asks everyone to stop and listen as tension builds among the group. One man argues their suits won't last and someone will have to stay behind to increase survival chances. They suggest sacrificing those with no family or future, like the elderly or orphans. The group turns their attention toward the boy, implying that his life holds the least value. The boy is threatened at gunpoint and told to hand over his suit battery. He strikes back, refusing to go down easily, and dares them to try taking it. They pin him to the ground, mocking him as he struggles to resist. One suggests exposing him to radiation in hopes he'll awaken powers and save them all. The boy, injured and furious, swears to kill them if he ever awakens. They ignore him, taking his battery and calling it another step towards survival. They prepare to choose another victim for forced awakening, creating tension among the group. Panic sets in. One man immediately deflects, begging them to pick someone else instead. One man runs for the truck while others chase, shouting to grab him. He reaches the driver's seat and starts the engine, ignoring their calls to stop. With a determined face, he declares that if they die, they'll die together. Suddenly, the mysterious statue on the truck begins to crack and awaken. The awakened statue crashes down violently, sending panic through the camp. One man sees humanoids breaking in through the mine's entrance and yells for everyone to run. The black-haired man lies injured on the ground, watching everything unfold in disbelief. He stares at the statue's eerie grin, feeling mocked even by it. A monstrous humanoid crashes down, targeting the black-haired boy with deadly force. As he cowers beneath it, he wonders why he's the one suffering through all this. The monster grabs him by the head, lifting him up violently. Tears fall as he questions if it's simply because he's weak. The boy is haunted by memories of people blaming him for his parents' death, treating him like a burden. He stands in the rain, insulted and rejected by corporate executives demanding he leave. One man violently shoves complaint letters into his face, mocking his plea for justice. While stepping on him, the man declares his parents were at fault and now the boy is being sued for their costly mistake. The boy tries to push himself up, but gets violently kicked back to the ground. The man declares he's now the debt collector charging $30,000 monthly with a 3-year deadline. He warns that enforcers will come monthly, and if there's no money, things will get violent. Mocking his misery, the man offers a single option: become an interdimensional miner to repay the debt. Grabbing the enemy mid-air, he refuses to die passively. Even if it's the end, he'll fight back. His resolve sharpens. Weak or not, he questions why the weak must accept death silently. He's thrown aside by the monster, bleeding yet burning with defiance. Lying on the ground, he mutters, disgusted by the foul stench and his own helplessness. The dark figure lifts him effortlessly, mocking his potential and expecting submission. Barely conscious, he laughs bitterly, claiming the statue was useless against the monster. The shadow offers to save him if he surrenders his body, but he refuses instantly. Clenching his teeth, he declares he'd rather die than be controlled by such a monster. The dark entity laughs mockingly at his defiance, questioning his choice to die rather than submit. It pins him down with overwhelming force, mocking his resistance until the shadow system activates. Suddenly, dark energy surrounds the enemy, catching it completely off guard. The monster is violently slammed into the ground by an unseen power. The boy, now transformed and surrounded by dark flames, stares at the enemy that once mocked him. With a heavy impact, he slams the monster into the ground, declaring he never forgets grudges. His aura intensifies, forming an armored, shadowy appearance as another monster rushes in. He silences it instantly with a powerful strike, showing overwhelming dominance. He descends with a powerful aura, coldly telling the monster to get lost. The creature lets out a furious roar, launching itself in a blind rage. With one swift counterattack, he smashes the monster mid-charge. He floats calmly, disgusted by the stench, completely unfazed by the enemy. He turns to the cowardly enemies and calls them trash. They panic and threaten to report him, trembling in fear. He raises his power, unleashing a terrifying aura. With a chilling smirk, he wonders what would happen if he gave the body back. They beg for mercy, saying they were just trying to survive. One of them claims they helped him awaken and become an evolver. He smirks coldly, asking if he should thank them for their abuse. They nervously agree, hoping he'll let them go. He says not only will he let them go, he'll even help them out. Suddenly, shadow blades pierce through one of the men, shocking everyone. They cough up blood as one of them screams Lai's name in disbelief. Two survivors back away, pleading for mercy, saying they did nothing. He tosses over some batteries, telling the prisoners they're theirs now. The shadow warns him to drop his pity, it's useless. He calmly replies that pity will only get them killed. One prisoner yells at him to shut up, saying he'll see how tough he is at death's door. He spots a group of charging monsters and realizes an abnormal appeared. The shadow mocks him for trembling, saying he should hand over his body or handle the threat alone. The shadow reminds him that without its power, he's weak and worthless. But instead of giving in, he takes a bold step forward and says, "I said." He charges in boldly, rejecting the shadow's words. He lands a powerful kick, shocking the abnormal beast. But another monster quickly counters, sending him flying. As one lunges with its gaping jaws, he braces in shock. His eyes widen as he senses an incoming attack. He swiftly counters with a powerful kick to the creature. He moves faster, realizing his reflexes have improved. Yet another monster charges, mocking his progress as pathetic. His eyes glow with power as he prepares a strike. He launches a punch, yelling, "Shut up!" He wonders why his power has increased so much, but realizes normal attacks won't be enough to truly hurt them. He wishes for a weapon as energy forms in his hand. A dagger made of shadow appears, surprising him. He charges at the enemy and slashes, saying, "Let's see if it suits you." The dagger cuts clean through the monster's body with precision. He realizes with a smile that he can now kill abnormals too. Two monsters rush toward him, but he moves confidently. He dodges an attack and swings his dagger with force. The shadow blade slashes straight through the abnormal's chest. He stands among the monsters and clenches his blade tightly. He finally has the power to fight back, charging forward with determination. Blood bursts as his attack lands with full force. The monster's clawed hand crashes lifelessly to the ground. He collapses to the ground, bloodied but breathing heavily, relieved. All around him, monster corpses lie scattered. He stands tall, victorious. Laughter escapes him, filled with disbelief and triumph. A notification appears: evolution successful. Lie ye human E rank. Doctors confirm he has no injuries, just asleep from adjusting to his new power. The nurse is curious about his level and calls him handsome before leaving. Dark energy stirs while he sleeps, watching silently. The shadow laments being stuck in an E-rank vessel, craving a stronger body. He wakes up and sees the shadowy figure again, questioning its identity. The figure declares itself the ancient supreme entropy extinguisher, ruler of the otherworlds. The boy mocks it, calling it ugly and refusing to hand over his body. Angered, the shadow demands he surrender, insisting it's his only purpose for existing. He wonders why the spirit chose him and jokes about it possibly being attracted to his looks. While thinking of strange ways to get rid of it, he tries to stay calm and not provoke it. The spirit yells enough and demands to know what nonsense he's thinking. Frustrated, it regrets picking this E-rank human, saying even an old dog would have been better. The spirit throws him into a gate, warning that if he doesn't reach D rank in 3 days, he'll be erased. He wakes up inside a strange cave and realizes it's a trial zone from the spirit's race. He begins walking and learns that the spirit's possession has refreshed his trial chances. He encounters a shielded armor beetle and somehow recognizes the species through the spirit system. He grips his weapon tightly, thinking about the shadow system. The beetle charges at him with extreme speed, cutting through the air. He dodges swiftly, but is overwhelmed by the beetle's rapid attacks. The monster hisses violently, showing its rage and bloodlust. He realizes the beetle's blind spot is behind it and charges in. With a swift leap, he dodges the monster's attack and flips over. He positions himself right behind the beetle, aiming to strike. He delivers a powerful slash to its weak spot with full force. He slashes again with frustration, but the blade barely dents the shell. The beetle hisses fiercely while he notes its armor is too tough. Ignoring the voice mocking him, he charges in with full force. Despite his efforts, his strikes can't break through. He wonders if it even has a weak spot. He strikes the beetle's eyes with full force, but the creature retaliates, launching him high into the air. He crashes into the ground hard, groaning in pain. A sticky green slime hits his shoulder, and he realizes something strange is happening. A green fluid drips from the beetle's blade. It's injured. He stares up at the towering creature. "Your blood?" The beetle cracks its claws, preparing to attack again. But he smirks confidently, saying, "Heh, found your weakness." The monster charges in full rage, eyes glowing red. He raises his hand, dark energy flaring. Let's see who's the real coward. The shadow spirit is stunned. That's Shadow Eye? With a powerful slash, he attacks the beetle's weak point. Break it. Shadow mocks him for only breaking one leg, but he knows it's enough to limit the bug's movement. The beetle struggles to balance. It'll be easier to hit its weak spot now. He clenches his weapon. I need something stronger. Dark energy erupts. He summons a powerful new blade. This is it. The bug gets up again. The guy is shocked and says, "Get up." He realizes the reason it's still alive, its weak spot is the abdomen. He targets the bug's abdomen and launches a powerful strike. He wins and says, "I won," but the shadow mocks him. Out of breath from killing just an E-rank shield bug, he picks up a glowing item and asks, "What is this?" The shadow says it's an energy stone that boosts his level. He calls it an X-Pack. He senses something approaching in the tunnel, but can't see anything. The shadow suggests using Shadow Eye to see. He's confused, asking, "What's that skill?" The shadow explains how to use it. Focus shadow energy into his eyes. He prepares silently. He activates the Shadow Eye skill and says, "Got it." Suddenly, a giant insect with glowing green eyes rushes toward him at full speed. A powerful strike hits him hard, sending him flying through the air. Another wooden spike launches out, releasing a green, toxic gas. He dodges fast projectiles and says, "So fast, what are these darting things?" He turns to face them again and shouts, again. He's struck midair while trying to react. Frustrated, he yells, "Why can't I see clearly?" The shadow replies, "It's not that the skill is ineffective, it's that you're too weak." He questions being called weak, then decides, "Then I'll gather more energy." The shadow observes how well he manipulates shadow energy and says, "This is getting more interesting." He starts scanning monsters, identifying the warping sword bug and stinger launcher. The system says he's adapted to the knowledge base. He sweats and mutters, "Wait a second, that many?" He looks up at the tunnel. Dozens of bugs are crawling out. There's way too many. As they charge, he realizes it means the dark corners are already full of them. From above, the bugs rush in. The shadow says, "Not bad. You even found a position to avoid getting surrounded." He grips his weapon tightly, his eye glowing. "All of you." He releases a surge of power and shouts, "Get lost," blasting the bugs away with dark energy. The shadow is impressed. "Oh, you've already awakened the second form of Shadow Eye." Dark power swirls around him as he stands tall. Just an E rank, quite the surprise. Skill panel Shadow IV2 unlocked. Abilities: Shadow Knowledge Base, Transformation, Shadow.